So this is inshallah a short ruku, right? It
Yes.
looks like inshallah. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تلك الرسل فضلنا بعضهم على بعض، منهم من كلم الله ورفع بعضهم درجات، وآتينا عيسى ابن مريم البينات وأيدناه بروح القدس، ولو شاء الله ما اقتتل الذين من بعدهم من بعد ما جاءتهم من بعدهم من بعد ما جاءتهم البينات، ولكن اختلفوا فمنهم من آمن ومنهم من كفر، ولو شاء الله ما اقتتلوا ولكن الله يفعل ما يريد. صدق الله مولانا العظيم، وبلغ رسوله النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم.
Jazakallah Faiz.
Yeah.
So, in this ruku, mashallah, it's thank to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, He made us complete, mashallah, 2 paras, and we are embarking on the third word. And the message goes as these are the messengers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala endowed with gifts, and some of them have preference one over another. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from Adam alayhi salam to Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent a lot of prophets, about 101 to 124,000 prophets and Rasul. So what is the difference between a Nabi and a Rasul? Rasul is the one who brings the Sharia, the law, and other Nabis bring the same messages and they repeat it. So our Prophet Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is a Rasul and a Nabi, but there are some prophets. So there are 4 of the Rasuls and rest of them are Nabis. And Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is saying that He spoke to some of them and He gave them the gifts, means here the miracles. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala give miracles to all its prophets, and the reason being is that this way those people who are seeking the truth, they can recognize the Nabi or Rasul by seeing those miracles. It is true. And all the miracles that are given to Prophet are given according to the time and the place they were sent in. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, he was sent to the ancient Egypt, and at that time we discussed in the previous chapters that dream interpretation played an important role in that society. Like when people would see the dreams, they will come and try to interpret to the priest and say what the dream means. And that's why Yusuf alayhi salam was given the gift of dream interpretation, and he was able to predict, interpret the dream of the Pharaoh of that time, when he saw that, 7 skinny cows, they eat up the 7 fat cows. So he was able to interpret that. And then in the same society, but much later, Musa alayhi salam, when he was sent to the ancient Egypt, the sorcery, magic, black magic, they were very prevalent there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the miracles that can dispel the myth of all the false knowledge of sorcery and magic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a staff which could, ward off all the myths of the, magic wands and things like that. And now in this chapter, we are just being what is being discussed is the Isa alayhi salam. Isa alayhi salam, like all the prophets, his life was a miracle. His life was a miracle in many ways. That, his birth was unique. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala know all kind of creations. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam, he did not have a father or mother. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just created him without any father or mother. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows all kind of creations, all kind of things. And then Bibi Hawa, or so when she was created without any mother or without any father. So the first couple in this world, so he was created like, they were created like that. And Isa alayhi salam, Allah Ta'ala through his miracle gave the miracle to Bibi Maryam, that without any husband, and Isa alayhi salam without any father was, subhanahu wa ta'ala was green. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the creation or the birth. Furthermore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the miracle of speaking right from the infancy, that Bibi Maryam was given, command by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to speak. So it was a severe test for Bibi Maryam, that she had a baby and people started pointing fingers at her character. So she lived all her life in chastity and in a piousness. But when Isa alayhi salam was born, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what he did, he gave a miracle that, baby Jesus spoke. And when he spoke, people could see that it was a miracle. And when he grew up, and that was a society, in which medical sciences had taken a lot of progress, and it was at a peak. It was at the height of the, medical science development. It was such a thing that they could cure all kind of ailments. But what they could not do is leprosy. Leprosy was there, and in the ancient Jerusalem area, what they fear was leprosy. If the leprosy, it was a contagious disease. So if one would get it, it could spread into the family, to the neighborhood and everything. So they dreaded this disease more. So, but they did not have any cure for it. So although their medical science had progressed, but they could not cure it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this power to Isa alayhi salam, that he could cure the people who had leprosy. And another thing that they did not have any cure for was somebody was born blind. So if somebody born blind, they could not cure him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave that miracle to Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. And the third one was that, enduring any treatment or somebody passed away, it was not up to the doctors or the physician of those era. They could revive him, the dead person, or they could, but Isa alayhi salam was given that power that he couldn't revive them. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning that if Allah will, he could have put all the people of the book on the same line or same teachings, but they quarrel a lot, wrangle a lot, that, we are right. Jews say that, Christians have nothing in terms of spirituality, and Christians say the same thing about Jews, that they have nothing. So what is the relationship between Jews and Christians? When Isa alayhi salam came, so what they perceive it as that, because all the people who are coming from Banu Israel, they were considered Jews. So Isa alayhi salam was considered all that. So when Isa alayhi salam presented himself as a Nabi, so the initially Christians were considered sort of a sect of Judaism. It was not considered, because that Isa alayhi salam and also his early disciples, they propagated the religion to the Jews exclusively. But it was much later, a person named Saul, which the Western version of that is called Paul. He was the one, he said that, Jews failed to accept the teachings of Jesus Christ. So that's why it should be taken to Gentile. So from the Jews to Gentile. Now, still the term persists, Jews versus Gentile. Gentile meaning non-Jewish people. And that's how this Abrahamic religion was made public to that. So that gained popularity in Europe, among Rome and all that. So initially, when Isa alayhi salam came, it was Roman rule. It was, I believe it was Julius who was really the world power and European power that ruled Europe, North Africa, and Asia. And they prosecuted Christianity very severely. And anybody who found practicing Christianity, what they would do, that they had those amphitheater, and they will bring those Christian people and feed it to lions, or they will have one criminal, so they would put that Christian practicing Christian into amphitheater and have a fight out with another gladiator till one of them get killed. So Christians, you must have seen it still, that some Christians even today, they make a fish sign on their car. So that was a secret symbol for the early Christians, that they will put in a place like a tree or a ground or somewhere. So that was a secret, ground or assembly place for the Christians where they could propagate Christianity. Now in the 333 AD, the first Roman king who accepted Christianity was Constantine. So Constantine was a Roman emperor who accepted Christianity. So it was about 333 after Isa alayhi salam. And he did two things. First, he converted to Christianity, and then he moved his capital from the Rome. Rome means the capital of Italy. That was the seat of Roman Empire. But he changed from city of Rome to a new city that he had founded. It was called Constantinople, and now it is called Istanbul there. So he declared that now I'm a Christian. I want to see what you preach and what you practice. So since it was not a secret society no more, they did not fear prosecution of all that. So all of them, they come forward and they came back with all the teachings of Isa alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him the book of Injil. And when he revealed that, so different people had copied or differently. So there are about according to some estimate, there are 28 gospels that were circulating. So Constantine said that it's too much of gospels. So what I would do, bring all those 28 gospels to me. I will put it in the royal library and on a pew, and next day we will pray to Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that all the two gospels which are in line with the teachings of Jesus or Isa alayhi salam should remain standing, and rest of them should fall. So all the priests, they came and they prayed, okay, guide us to the right path and all that. And they put all the 28 different Bibles or the Gospels on the pew. And Constantine, who had the key for the royal library, he locked it up, and they say, okay, we're going to go and open up. So when they open it up, they found only four Gospels: Gospel of Mark, Luke, John, and Matthew. There were four of them. So what the Constantine declared, that all the rest of the gospels should be burned, and anybody reading that would be executed. But despite this royal decree, some of the gospels did survive. And recently, one of the oldest example of gospel was found in Egypt through archaeological work, and it was called the Gospel of Thomas, and in which there are miracles mentioned in Quran. Because among many miracles of Isa alayhi salam, he used to make the pigeons out of the clay, and he would blow them, and they will become alive, and they will fly away. So this is a miracle. This is exclusively mentioned in Quran, not in any of the Gospels. So when Christians to this day, they used to say Mazallah, Mazallah, that Nabi Muhammad heard those stories and retell those stories. And but those clay one. Now, those defunct Gospels, one of them was the Gospel of Thomas. It was mentioned that Isa alayhi salam, he used to do that. He used to make the pigeons out of clay and blow the life into them. So this is a clear sign. And also, the seed of Christianity, even before officially Constantine converted to Christianity, there were a lot of secret society who practiced Christianity in the city of Rome, because some of the Roman soldiers had secretly converted to Christianity. And in Rome, city of Rome, instead of graveyard, they used to have catacombs. That was like a sort of graves that would be in a cave. And one of the Christian priest who secretly used to practice his religion, he had another gospel. It was called Gospel of Barnabas. And he not only used to read that gospel, but he also made a will that when I die, bury that Bible of Barnabas into my catacomb. So that's what done. And only about 100 years ago or so, when the whole catacomb collapsed, so miraculously, that Bible of Barnabas came out of that catacomb in intact condition. And when you read, that will shatter the established practice of Christianity. So, as I said, that now Christianity is only accepted those 4 gospels, but there are some other Bibles in which miracles are mentioned that are mentioned in Quran. So Isa alayhi salam, he had precisely even in the, if you look, if you have a chance, read Bible of Barnabas, in which there is a prophecy about Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is clearly mentioned that a prophet will come, and all the Christians knew that, because when after the first revelation, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was overwhelmed by the experience. So he talked to Bibi Khatija, and one of the cousin of Bibi Khatija, Warha bin Nawfal, he had converted to Christianity, and he was considered authority on Christian knowledges and Christian sciences. So when Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went and met him, and he said about the experience that when I was in a cave, somebody came and told me that. So Warha bin Nawfal said, this is the same angel that used to come on Musa alayhi salam. And although he was a Christian, but he was able to recognize who it was. And he even prophesied that I wish I was young, I could support you, if, when you declared the prophethood, and you will be exiled from Makkah. So at that point, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam showed bewilderment that, would I be exiled from Makkah? So he said, yes, you will be exiled from Makkah. And he said that I wish I would have been young at that time. So, but he passed away right after Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam tell him that incident very shortly after that. So many people, many Christian community, they were expecting Isa, as Isa alayhi salam told them, that the coming of Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Hazrat Salman Farsi rather, he was also a Christian before he converted to Islam. And all the Christian priests he had served, they had told him all the exact place that he will emerge. So they had mentioned it would be a city in which there will be a lot of date palms. That was Medina. And he asked people around that, is there such a city in which there are a lot of trees of date palm? So people mentioned to him that, there's a city called, at that time it was called Yathrib, that there's a city called Yathrib over there. And he went there, and he was told by the priest that this is the prophet that will accept the gifts but will not accept the charity. And that's how, and they also mentioned him that on his back it will be a seal of prophethood. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had a seal of prophethood on his back, which says Muhammad Rasulullah. That was the size of a pigeon egg. So that was there. So these were the signs given to the Christians. Even after 333 AD, the capital of Roman Empire was changed from Rome to Constantinople, which is now called Istanbul. But in the 6th year of Hijri, Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had a peace treaty of Hudaybiyah with Quraysh. And after that, when the peace was established between Makkah and Medina, or Muslims and Quraysh, so Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wrote a lot of letters from the 6th year of Hijri onward. And one of them, the letter he wrote it to Heraclius, the Emperor of Rome. And Emperor of Rome, he was a good friend with a Pope, one of the cardinals in the Rome. And they knew. So when the letter of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went to Heraclius, so he issued a decree in his empire that anybody who's visiting my empire from that tribe, summon them to me. So Abu Sufyan was on a trade mission to Syria. So Roman soldiers, they gave him message of Heraclius. And this way Abu Sufyan went to the court. And at that time, Jerusalem was a place of pilgrimage for all the Christians. And he was on a pilgrimage mission to Jerusalem. So from Syria, Abu Sufyan came, and he asked him many questions to Abu Sufyan. And among them, when he was finished with that, he had asked Abu Sufyan that what kind of lineage is this person who's claiming the prophethood. So Abu Sufyan said that he's from a very noble lineage. So when he was finished asking, he said, this is the case with the prophets. The prophets always come from a noble lineage. And he had asked him several questions, among that, who's accepting this religion? Is it the poor and destitute who are accepting his religion, or the rich and noble people? So Abu Sufyan answered, it is usually underprivileged people and poor people who are doing. So Heraclius, he answered, such is the case. The early converts are always, so always the people who are the poor and all that. So when he was finished, he says that, I wish I could go to this prophet, wash his feet and drink from the pot. And very soon, where I'm sitting, he will be here, means he will be in the Jerusalem. So he knew, but what he see, that all the court in the Roman, Roman court, they changed their attitude. He could sense a revolt being taken, because Romans did not think much of Arabs. They thought that, these are the people, that they are just nomadic people who fight amongst themselves. So when he saw that mode, so he changed it. And he told Abu Sufyan to go out of the court. And he told his soldiers and generals and his courtiers that I was just testing your faith. So when they heard that, oh, this might be just a test for us, so they all, bow in the prostration to, Heraclius. But Heraclius, although he said that because he did not want to lose his, a seat, or he does not want to lose his position, but he had a friend, a cardinal in Rome. So he wrote a letter that such a letter came to me, and there's a person who's claiming the prophethood. So that cardinal testified, it is the prophet we are waiting for. So inshallah, we will leave it at here. Like to highlight a little bit about Christianity. So if there's any questions, it's a short ruku. So if there's any questions or comments, please come. I will welcome that. वालेकुम सलाम, कैसे हैं?
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। तो एक किताब है पाकिस्तान में